Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil and it's time to talk Fringe. And we're kind of figuring out what the new normal of season 2 is now, I think. We haven't completely abandoned our monster of the week kind of idea. We certainly had that last episode as we got Olivia back out into the field. The case itself, while interesting, certainly wasn't the big takeaway of the episode. The big takeaway is that, well, there's a handful, but they all have to do with the greater through story of the show, I think. First of all, Charlie Francis is not Charlie. He's a shapeshifter. He's getting instructions from a typewriter that exists both in this world and the other side. His goal is no longer to eliminate Olivia, it's to find out what she knows, what her mission is, what apparently she's been told when she went to the other side at the very end of season 1 and met with Belle. So for now, Olivia's safe at the hands of the shapeshifter, but nobody knows that Charlie is dead, and who they think is Charlie isn't Charlie at all. So there's that. Nina Sharp is taking a very, very caring approach to Olivia's recovery, which may or may not be selfish and self-serving, but she's sent Olivia to a guy named Sam Weiss in a bowling alley, who helped her and may help Olivia. How exactly, we don't know. This doesn't seem to be a psychology thing or a cybernetics thing. Sam does seem to be aware of the other side and that traveling between the two may have certain side effects that Olivia is going to need to start dealing with. Headaches are apparently coming. She's already dealing with super sensitive hearing, and she doesn't remember her trip. She thinks she may have met with somebody. She thinks she may have to go find something, but she doesn't know anything more than that. So, yeah. When will we find out about the conversation between Olivia and Belle? Because we just teased Leonard Nimoy at the end of last season, and I'd like to see him on the show again. And I'm sure we will. I just don't know how frequently. Do we get him twice a season? Does he become a series regular somewhere down the line? Yeah, very interested. How much more does Walter know? How long before Peter finds out he's not this world's Peter? When will anyone else find out about that other than Walter and the audience? Does Nina know that? Nina knows Peter from a young age. I don't know, man. Are there doppelgangers ever? Everybody on the other side? That what's happened? You know, we've hinted at this other side for a large part of season 1, but it's only since the season finale and the season 2 premiere that we really sort of have confirmation and started spelling out exactly what is going on. And now that we know it for sure, they're swamped with new questions that I'm really eager to find out more about. But it's a long season, 20 episodes, I believe. So maybe even more than that. 22 episodes. So there may be some filler. There may be some monsters of the week where we only just get where we only touch the main story very slightly, tangentially, if at all. No idea whether this episode's going to be one of those or more central to our main storyline. So let's just jump into it. I've talked enough. You guys are ready to watch this with me. Episode 3 of season 2. This one's called Fracture.
Previously on Fringe. A series of events has occurred. These events appear to be scientific in nature. It's been referred to as the pattern.
He worked out of Harvard in an area called fringe science.
This is for the new viewer.
The headache started yet?
No.
They will.
Yes, Colonel.
It's time.
Colonel.
Suburban station. You'll be wearing a black trench coat, carrying a black briefcase.
Oh, he's ditching his partner. Huh. There's our black trench coat.
Give me the briefcase now.
What's the problem
I
here?
got it under control.
Yeah, take that.
Okay. Who's the dude in the trench coat? And who's the colonel? I'm pretty sure I took a writing class with that guy, by the way. That cop. Oh, we're still bowling.
Yeah, what exactly did you do for Nina Sharp?
I taught her how to eat French fries. Simple enough, unless you've got a cybernetic prosthetic arm.
Physical therapy?
You'll get there.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I can't waste my
Are you
time.
sleeping at night? And you say the headaches haven't started yet?
No.
Let me know when they do. Unless you want to help me mop up the men's room, I'm closing now.
Come back tomorrow, Agent Dunham. We got work to do.
Tie and laces. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Come take a look at this. I've been running a filter for atypical FBI case reports. I just got a hit. They can't find any explosive residue at the scene. How's a bomb go off without leaving any trace of it afterwards?
Shall I get my coat, Peter?
I like that we're being more proactive this season.
So what about eyewitnesses?
Oh, I've got half a dozen eyewitnesses, but nobody who saw anything helpful.
What happened to the cop?
What is it?
Shrapnel, I believe, from the bomb. Some sort of crystal.
Yeah, he like
Hard as a diamond.
turned to rock or something.
Salty. I think it's not geologic in origin after all.
It's
In
human.
fact, I'm certain it's organic.
It's an ear.
Is that it? An ear?
Gillespie turned to rock and then exploded.
You know, I told her you were a genius, Joe. Don't prove me wrong.
Then you need a smarter genius.
So, why did we lose picture before the explosion?
Because the guy in the trench coat came down the stairs. Do we know if he died?
Do you remember that jigsaw puzzle we put together when you were a kid? Melissa.
Melissa was a playmate, Miss July.
Okay, we remember that. So that was this Peter, unless it happened in both universes.
Needle marks between the toes. Form of transformative serum.
He had a couple of marks on his wrist too when he answered that call from the colonel.
It shattered the body.
What are you saying, Walter? You think he did this to himself? On purpose?
When I stopped counting at 47 needle marks, I can't imagine it was an accident.
Officer Gillespie was the bomb.
Fascinating, yes.
Was he on any medication or under any sort of medical care? No. I don't understand. What does this have to do with the explosion?
Oh, here's the headaches. Here come the headaches. Hard and fast. Oh, she's flashing to the other side. She's having memories. Oh. Okay, is it just memories or is there more to it? Really good editing, just making it so disorienting. Oh, what's behind the sink? That tile's loose. These are the needles he injects himself with. Who's the colonel? What do we got? Personal Pelican case full of some sort of injections. Vials, anyway.
But, I mean, what makes someone blow themselves up? Typically, they're either waging a war
Unintentional. And the briefcase was what triggered it.
Doesn't make sense.
Is there anything else on your mind? The headache. Did the doctor say that would happen?
Totally normal.
Okay. So the colonel's got people like this all over. Oh. Oh, so it stops it.
Let me help you with that.
Hey, hey.
We need to talk. Captain Burgess. You're going to D.C. on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Have you been taking the serum?
Yes, sir.
Good. Because from this moment on, Tin Man parameters are in effect.
So what's this colonel up to?
Headaches mean you finally sparked the battery. Parts of your brain are still asleep, but once they wake up, all that memory will get flushed out.
When?
I've got a kids league coming in here. You're gonna keep score.
How is that going to help my memory?
Well, for starters,
Math.
it might teach you some patience.
Math helps.
That would mean that Gillespie started injecting while he was still on his tour in Iraq.
So something obviously happened in Iraq.
The triggers.
If you're going to eat that cheeseburger in here, could you at least be a little discreet?
The cow knows. They got exposed to something.
His whole unit was exposed to cyanogen. According to
Project
this
Tin
file,
Man.
Gillespie should have died in Iraq.
And all the names of the U.S. military personnel associated with the project were redacted from the record.
I need to go back to Iraq. There may be others out there like him, walking bombs. We don't have 2 weeks to wait.
What is it you need?
Private air transportation, $20,000 in cash, and a passport without my real name on it. I'm still on a couple of watch lists.
Okay. We're going to Iraq. I'm surprised they allowed
Baghdad, here we come.
Iraqi doctors to experiment on American military personnel.
كان في أشاعات إنك قتلت.
فإذا أنا شباب.
More than anything else, a person like you is good at looking out for yourself. Now you are here, asking for my help?
A lot of innocent lives may be on the line.
And this is something you care about now.
Yes, I do.
I like that we're getting Peter a little more actively involved. So much of his role last season was just sort of pacifying and interpreting Walter.
You gonna tell me what that was about?
One day.
No.
More watermelon experiments.
What did I tell you about experimenting with fruit?
The question remains, what triggered it?
So you're using radio waves like Peter suggested?
Quite ingenious, really.
Oh,
In fact,
kiss that watermelon goodbye.
Quickly, what's the frequency?
331.6 megahertz. What happened? It stopped.
I'm not sure.
No more fruit, Walter.
منيفة من اشتغلت بمستشفى أمريكانيا.
A program called Tin Man?
The program didn't work. It was too dangerous. The soldiers had been exposed to a synthetic neurotoxin. We had been trying to find a way to neutralize it. Only a few of them survived.
Sure you don't want me to drive you to the airport?
But it was too dangerous. The serum had an unintentional byproduct. It reacted in a very unexpected way.
It turned people into bombs.
Yes.
How many other people knew about this?
Whoever they reported to, I suppose.
The Colonel.
Colonel. When the program was shut down, he argued it should be continued.
It's likely there is a second suspect controlling detonation from a remote location. We believe it's this man, Colonel Raymond Gordon. He's off the grid.
Oh,
Officially
okay.
designated
He's rogue.
a rogue operative. Now, if we can locate Captain Burgess in time to get within range, we may be able to jam the signal and prevent her detonation. She is also a potential victim here. We're gonna do everything that we can to get her back to her family alive.
Diane Bridges has just been located.
If that was the phone call, I'd interrupt. Anyway.
Stand by, we'll wait for Diane Bridges.
Vancouver Art Gallery.
He must be inside as well.
Which means that once he starts broadcasting, we should be able to triangulate his position. But in order to do that, we would have to leave the frequency open. We can't jam it.
Waterfront Station.
Yes, Colonel.
Your contact will be wearing a black trench coat. Accept the briefcase and proceed by taxi back to your hotel.
Is that it, sir?
That's it, Captain.
Thank you, sir.
Is it the same guy, or is it just another unwilling victim? Okay, different guy.
Still no sign of Gordon.
That's it. That's the VHF signal. She'll detonate in 30 seconds.
Something's wrong. Sir, the signal's scrambling our equipment. I can't get a lock on Gordon. We can't get a lock.
Then jam that signal.
Got him. Attempts to jam the signal have failed. She's going to detonate.
Okay, now what do we do?
Oh my god.
Okay, so it's not the briefcase that does it.
I spotted Gordon. Taking him out.
Okay. Hit the button again.
25 Mississippi. 26 Mississippi.
Or just smash it, you know. Okay. What's the Colonel's motivation here, though? But what was he trying to achieve? Is he just a rogue terrorist?
We're good? What does that mean?
Means that's all for tonight. Go home.
He is very Yoda.
I just got here.
Come back tomorrow. By then, I'll have found you the perfect bowling ball.
Now you listen to me, you son of a bitch. I am not here to bowl or to try on shoes or to have you play games with my head. I am here because I was told that you could fix me.
Hand's not shaking. And she's not using her cane.
Take care, Agent Dunham.
The enemy is among us, and nobody's doing anything about it. So we had to take matters into our own hands. We had to send them a message.
What was in the briefcase?
They are here, collecting data, making observations.
Observing.
That's what's in the briefcase. And they've been passing information via courier.
To who?
We don't know who they are. But I can tell you what they want.
Yeah, it's definitely the
answer. They want to exterminate us. They plan to use it against us.
Oh,
one way or another. We'll find out who they are.
Do they want to exterminate us, or is that just his messed up opinion?
Whatever is in those cases is going to destroy us all.
Yeah, Philip Mitchell. I took a writing class with him. He was our Officer Gillespie. Hilarious. That was before I even got into film. Another weird thing of the week. I like that we're getting back into that rhythm, but this show is smart. I can't help but compare it to Lost, because it's how I found myself into Fringe, because I did Lost, and because I loved Lost, and all the Lost fans are like, you should do Fringe next. It's another JJ show, lots of commonalities. Yeah. I think we learned some lessons from Lost. Lost was so good about being the black box, multiple season long mysteries, but I think what frustrated some viewers of Lost was answers weren't immediately forthcoming, or we'd go long stretches without getting any new info. It didn't personally bother me, but I feel like that was a note that they went into Fringe with. And it's like, let's give the audience a little something every episode, or darn near close to every episode. So even though this is just another weird thing of the week, it's about a bunch of soldiers who were exposed to this Iraqi nerve agent. They've been on this serum as a treatment, but the serum has a side effect. This colonel's using that as an excuse to create human bombs, basically. And ultimately, just to steal these briefcases, it seems like overkill to steal these bombs. These briefcases. It feels like there would be an easier way to steal these briefcases. But if you also want to make a statement to... Well, now here's the question, isn't there? This is a question. We know there's the other side. There's our parallel universe that Belle is in, that Olivia went to, that Peter came from. But then there's also the question of the observers. And the shapeshifters and these couriers with the briefcases? And are they from the other side, or is there a third thing somewhere else that they're from? Or am I overthinking it? Are they just from the other side? And they are. We know the observer's been here a long time. He's got an open in like he and Walter know about each other, and they seem friendly, but they're also collecting information on Walter. To what end? Who knows? But whatever's in those briefcases could end us all. So this colonel's taken it upon himself to fight back. He thinks the observers are ultimately here to kill us, and we know that we've heard repeatedly that there is a war coming between the two sides and only one can survive. So does that mean we're going to war with the observers? Or I feel like maybe they're detached from that war. Maybe they're the referees or something. We're obviously not supposed to know now. This is where my mind's going. Because, and here's why I say that, this is the other side is supposed to be pretty much our world with just small differences, but it's close enough that there's doppelgangers of at least some of our characters on that side. So the observers don't feel like that. The observers don't speak English. They don't write. Well, they speak English, but they don't. It's not their native language. They write in a different script. They've got strange abilities. Remember the young observer that we found last season, the little kid? He was like incredibly empathic, almost to the point of being psychic. These don't just feel like people in a parallel universe. These feel like beings with supernormal abilities. Maybe there's a bunch of people like that on the other side. Or maybe, like I'm suggesting, maybe they're from somewhere else. But yeah. It feels like every episode we do of this show, we're discovering more and more people are aware of these of the other side, that there's something more than just our universe, that there is a conflict bubbling away that may boil over at any moment. And we're still just trying to wrap our heads around what that is, who it involves, what the two sides are. It feels like one side is our Earth, but is the other side just this other universe, or is that we're missing key bits of info still, and it's still super early in the season, so fair enough. Dole out the information, dole out the answers, keep prompting new questions. That's good storytelling. I'm fully committed to the ride. I'm loving the ride so far. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really digging it. Sam may have fixed Olivia. Was it just a matter of getting her off the cane and taking away the shakes, and maybe, like, I don't feel like we're done with him yet, but we're seeing progress. He got her to stand up and and walk without the cane. She's holding a gun without shaking. That's a first for this season. So we're definitely making progress. And we got her first headaches, and they're interesting headaches. They're these red flashes of little glimpses into the other side. We recognize some images from the other side when she encountered Belle, but we don't know. We still don't know what that happened during that meeting. We only saw the intro at the very end of season 1, and so we can only guess as to what this is all about. And it's probably going to be a while before we find out. But man, I am so intrigued. Like, yeah, I'm fully hooked on this show. I need to know more. I'm really excited to learn more, and I want to see where it's going. I feel like I'm in really good hands. Like this is going to be a a super interesting ride, and it's going to have some crazy twists and turns before it's all said and done. And I'm just talking about season 2. Never mind 3, 4, 5 down the road. The only other thought I have about this episode is it's cool seeing a Vancouver show again. I haven't watched a Vancouver show in a bit, and it's cool. And it's cool seeing a bunch of familiar names and faces. A lot of familiar names in the credits. A lot of familiar faces on screen. Canadian actors hired, for guest starring roles, that sort of thing. And then it's seeing the locations. They're filming all over downtown. A lot of recognizable locations, and yeah, it's always kind of fun. It's I wouldn't call it a distraction, but it can pull you out of it. I mean, it's a weird thing, and I don't know if you live where a lot of filming has happened, but if you're being told the story is Philadelphia or New York, and you go, no, that's the Vancouver Art Gallery, it bumps. But it's a fun bump. It's not that doesn't make sense. It's just, oh, I know better. But it does separate you from the storyline for a moment. So you just have to... I hope the novelty of this will wear off quickly. And we'll just sort of get back to... I won't stop recognizing places, but maybe we'll just sort of get back into the focusing on the story instead of realizing that the outside of that train station and the inside of the train station are actually blocks apart in downtown Vancouver, as opposed to being the same building, and weird fun stuff like that. In any case, I'm excited for more. Season 2 is going to be a really fun ride. Thank you guys for joining me. Don't forget, you can check out my Patreon if you want to see full-length versions of these reactions, or if you want to get ahead. We're 4 episodes ahead over there right now, so if you can't wait another week, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/NeilTalks. Support the channel and satisfy your cravings. It's also the best way to support Neil Talks. It really does go a long way in allowing me to continue to do this full time, and it's appreciated, believe me. Thanks to all of my patrons, and to those of you who can't do Patreon for whatever reason, no sweat. I totally get it. I totally understand. I appreciate your time here. So thank you for spending a little bit of it today here on Neil Talks, and until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.